Punchboard Media,
where we all
bring something
to the table.
Pull up a chair
at punchboardmedia.com.
Party Gamecast, we'll show you what to play, giving you ideas when you don't know what to do or say. Party Gamecast, it's all fun and games, we'll show you new ideas to play. Party Gamecast, having fun is easy when you know what games to play. Party Gamecast, we'll show you what to play, giving you ideas so you can party away.
Welcome to the Party Gamecast, featuring the Party Gamecast, a podcast about party games and games you take to parties. I'm your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show is Rocky.
That's me.
That is certainly is you.
Hello.
Hey, Brian.
What's up?
Nothing much, Brian. How you doing?
Doing all right. Looking forward to eating some chips.
Oh, we're about to eat so many chips.
Oh, yeah.
All the chips.
Oh, so many chips. Also, Mike.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
I am certainly here and looking at lots and lots of chips online.
You certainly are. You're also not eating any of our chips today, but you will be our tiebreaker for any of our chip discussions.
For the chip tathlon, yes.
For the snack brackets. Also joining us is Marty.
Hey.
Hey, Marty. How are you doing?
A little stuffed.
On today's episode, not only are we going to do what the food snack brackets, we'll get there in a second. So many potato chips. We're also going to be talking about Similo today on the show. It's a game, and we've played it over online, and we're going to talk to you about that in a couple minutes.
Over online.
I've been trying to figure out how to butcher that the most, and that I thought was the most butchered way I could say that.
It hurts my soul.
I understand. I get it. We're about to go into the thing that we do absolutely every episode. We're about to go into what the food?
What the food?
What the food?
What is food?
Baby, don't hurt me. Chomp chomp. This What's Food brought to you as like every What the Food in the next generation of the show has been the fine folks at the Spewco Corporation. If you're gonna spew in this. Mike does it better but won't. So we're about to do snack brackets. We have 4 chips that are fighting their way to the top. As no, technically we had 5 chips fighting our way to the top. If you go over to Patreon, patreon.com, join our Patreon, you'll be able to listen to the play-in round where 2 barbecue chips fought each other in the Chip-to-Dome.
For the wild card spot.
I said again, Mike?
For the wild card spot.
Yes. Because our cards are so wild here. That's what we did. We want to thank some folks, our Patreon sponsors. If you sponsor for $10 or more, we thank you here on the show. We want to thank Stephen Quaid, Jerry Reese, Brian Canninger, Mike Cooper, Power to the Meeple, powertothemeeple.com, also the sponsor of the game playing part of the episode. So we'll talk about them more in a moment. And once again, the fine folks at Spewco. If you want to spew in this. So we're about to jump into this this whole thing. So Marty's friend sent these all to us. Marty, tell us about your friend that brought everything over to us so that we can officially thank her, because she is also a sponsor for this episode of What the Food.
Yes, it's Paula from she's from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Nice. Thank you, Paula from Cincinnati, Ohio. That felt very much to me like I was taking a request for a song. This goes out to Paula from Cincinnati, Ohio, from Tom. I'm sorry about that thing I did. And now we're gonna play Lionel Richie's "Dancing on the Ceiling."
I'm trying to figure out, is that the thing he did that he's apologizing for?
You never know. Okay, so we'll do this for a second. If you remember terrestrial radio, old people, there would always be in every market, they had like that one show that just played like the soft hits of the night from like, yes.
That still happens.
Is that still real?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be driving through the middle of nowhere and just scanning the radio.
Yeah.
And it's still a thing with the same.
Yeah.
I feel like the people who listened to that weren't probably the early adopters of the internet. So they're probably still listening to that. Their demo has not gone anywhere.
So then actually, if you're out there, contact us at all of our social media, at Party Gamecast on Twitter, Party Gamecast on Facebook, at Party Gamecast on Instagram.
More importantly, I
Instagram
think they need
much.
to know the phone number, because I feel like people who listen to the terrestrial radio are probably going to be more likely to be able to pick up a phone.
You're
Call in
absolutely
and
right.
Request
You
an
can
easy
call us
listen.
at 30 Party Game, 30 PARTYGAME. Leave off that last E for savings, because you don't really need it. Phone numbers are 10 digits in this country. But if you add an extra digit, it doesn't do anything bad. But if you take it off, what do you get, Mike?
I think you get PA. I think you get the party games.
It's the Party Games. Dot, 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 cha.
You missed the jazz hands, listeners. You missed
Yeah.
the jazz hands.
We are
always
on
do.
Zoom doing this, as you can tell by the incredibly high quality of the recording. But we can see each other. So yes, jazz hands were in fact required. I got to go back into this for a second, Rocky.
Yeah.
And once again, listeners, if you're out there, it's why we gave you all the numbers. If in your particular market there still is this type of show, please tell us about it. I want to talk more about it because you know what I'm talking about. Like it airs normally from like maybe 9 p.m. to maybe midnight or 1 in the morning.
I think it's still in our market too.
It
Yes.
is.
Mm-hmm.
We definitely have it. I guess I thought we didn't have it anymore. You're telling me we have it. But it is like 4 hours, 5 nights a week
Oh, jeez. Is it?
of people either professing their passion or apologizing.
In the worst music ever.
Oh, always.
Yeah.
Rocky hopes you're listening tonight, Bruce, and she'd like to play this for you. It reminds her of the first time you met, and now dancing on the ceiling. I couldn't get through that without laughing.
I think when you start to say Lionel Richie's Dancing on the Ceiling, it falls apart. Tom would like to tell the brunette at Yeater Skeeters that he misses you in a way that can only be said by Crystal Gale and Aaron Neville.
Wow.
But I promise you it's out there if you find it. I want to know about these. Because here's the thing I don't know is it just our market or is it a bunch of markets out there? Like, I know it's always been a thing in the Baltimore, D.C. area.
Didn't Casey Kasem do that sort of thing for a while?
So Casey Kasem did for a while, but like he was done it by, I think, the 80s. Because, I want to say on Top 40, he used to do that kind of thing every once in a while.
And that
Before
was
he
at
worked-
least well into the 80s, so it wasn't by
Yeah.
the 80s.
But I'm super curious. Is this like a set format that people kept, or I'm a big radio nerd, so I'm real curious about that kind of stuff.
The one I keep hearing is a woman,
Okay.
but just kind of tries to sound sultry while she does it.
Yeah, you need to sound just, and I don't want to be, goodness knows, Rocky, I don't want to be too topical, but you just want to be just a little breathy. Like you're just a little bit out of air, but not completely.
Yes.
Almost as if I'm almost exhausted, but I'm not too exhausted for you.
Yeah.
Some professional DJ tips right there.
And now it's time for a track from Michael Bolt.
Yes.
So what the food? So what the food, folks? Once again, we had the play-in match in the Chip to Dome! And we are about to have that chip face another chip, 2 other chips, final chip. We'll find out in a moment. Rocky,
Yes.
since you are the keeper of the chips,
Yes.
let us know what is our first matchup.
This first one is Grippo's Barbecue Flavored Potato Chips.
That is the winner of our wild card round.
It certainly was. Hey, Bruce, would you like to read the flavor text?
Yeah, would you do me a favor, Rock? Would you read the flavor text on that one?
Hey, there is none. I don't care what you think.
That's a callback to something you need to be a Patreon to listen.
Yeah, check that out on Patreon.
Yeah.
So one thing we've done since that last one, I just want to point this out because before we started this recording, we wasted 20 minutes on the Grippo's website.
Bare minimum.
I wouldn't say
minimum.
it was wasted.
No, yeah, I wouldn't exactly say it was wasted. Brian, if you could, just give the listeners the 1,000-foot stare. That's not how that should be said. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah,
the-
1,000-foot view.
Yeah, the
Brian.
1,000-foot view.
Yeah.
I mean, they are kind of like, for us, we have Utz, which is kind of a small local company that does delicious snack foods that no one else knows about. Grippo's seems to be Ohio's version of that. And they have a bunch of interesting choices for purchasing on their website. Like you can get 48 ounce-and-a-half bags of potato chips.
Nice.
Or you can get a 1.5 pound box of potato chips.
Hey, Brian, I have a question for you.
What's up?
How many meat sticks can I buy?
That is an excellent question. I believe
Thank
you
you.
can buy all of them.
I can buy all the meat sticks?
All of them, Bruce.
meat sticks.
Every single one.
You can get meat sticks. A full case is 24 sticks, sir.
Yeah, 24
It's-
meat sticks. Image unavailable though, so I don't know.
Okay, so we're not sure
Yeah.
exactly what 24, but if we want to know what 24 meat sticks looks like together, all we have to do is buy them.
Yes.
Yes. There's no other information about them. Just how
Nope.
much the price.
Okay.
They're
Grippos,
$2
folks.
per stick.
So, Rocky, Grippos will be facing what?
They will be facing Head of the Woods kettle cooked potato chips. A touch of smoke.
So,
Touch of smoke.
I want to make sure I understand,
Yes.
Rocky, please.
Yes.
So, what is the flavor of this potato chip? Hen?
No, it's a touch of smoke. Like they wave the bag next to like a candle.
Okay.
However, on the front of the bag is a tree stump and a chicken. I'm guessing is a reference to Hen of the Woods.
Okay.
Very literally. But maybe they can describe it better than I can.
Maybe they are able to describe it better than you.
Our story. Our journey began in 2013 with a simple stand in Washington Park, an urban farmer's market in the heart of Cincinnati, Ohio. With a passion for real food and extraordinary flavors, we assembled a team of like-minded chefs to bring obsessively crafted products from our kitchen to your home. We hope you enjoy them and enjoy them often. A chip that tastes like barbecue. One trip to North Carolina was all it took to inspire this kettle chip. One touch of smoke brings notes of backyard barbecues with a tangy finish of apple cider vinegar. This chip will have you thinking about summer all year long. There you go. You're right there.
And that goes out to Paula with Lionel Richie's.
I was
all night
thinking
long.
this.
All night long, all night, all night.
I'm waiting for like CNC Music Factory or something.
Oh, we're gonna make you sweat till you bleed. That's a line.
That's awful.
Yes.
So here's what
Yes.
I like about this matchup: is it is Hen of the Woods, the hipsters, saying that Grippos is trash. They're sellouts.
Yeah.
We started from the bottom. Now we're here.
Artisanal.
We're artisanal as hell.
So their name is Hen of the Woods? Because I don't have the actual bag.
Give
The name of the brand is Hen of the Woods LLC.
Okay.
Hen of the Woods.
So this is the one with the mushroom on the bag.
No. It's definitely a tree stump and a chicken.
Oh, because Hen of the Woods is a type of mushroom.
It certainly is, but not in this jurisdiction.
Okay.
So,
Sure.
a thing to note, dear listeners, real quick: Mike does not have these. He's breaking ties. I also forgot to give Marty one of these. So I'm going to imagine Marty's vote then, because he has them, is for the barbecue from Grippos.
What are we looking at?
I'm going to be inhaling smoke.
I burned some paper.
Struck a match.
You just set something on fire and breathe.
He's just setting his arm on fire.
All right. Are we going to be the
Just
barbecue?
light a potato.
Let's start with the Grippos. They won their way here. That is still wonderful. I don't care who you are.
They're a really good chip.
Yeah.
Let's see if these little artisanal upstarts can
I mean,
match them.
it's going to be bold for these artisanal upstarts to win this, because this might be, for me, this is fighting Wrap Snacks for my favorite barbecue flavor.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, wrap snacks are definitely sweeter, but yeah, these are quality flavor.
Yeah, these have such like a peppery, spicy finish.
And the potato chips have this like slightly, I don't know, charred thing going on, but in a good way.
Yes.
Like they're slightly overcooked, but it adds a nice flavor to it.
Yeah. Yes, Rob.
The bag of Grippos smells very smoky.
Okay.
The bag of Hen of the Woods smells like bag.
Okay, so you're telling me the barbecue smells like smoke and the smoke smells like bag.
Yes.
Okay.
Does
Yeah,
anything smell like snozberries?
Yeah.
The snozberries smell like snozberries, Mike.
Oh, okay.
Wow, they just look like plain chips.
They do. They're an
Yeah.
unremarkable looking chip, especially compared to the Grippos. But let's get a little Hen of the Woods in here.
Mm,
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah, that's a nice kettle cooked chip right there. It feels like there's liquid smoke on it. Clearly,
yeah.
well, that's nice. I like
Yeah.
that. It's not as there's a lot more going on in the barbecue chip, but this one, like, it's just a one note, but it's a really nice one note.
Yeah.
It's a little vinegary and a little smoky.
Yeah.
Still
Mhm.
potato.
Yeah.
Just the tiniest hint of vinegar.
Yeah, and the actual chip itself is a good chip. Like it's a good eating chip.
Yeah, it's a really nice kettle chip style.
Okay. So it's time for votes, Rocky.
Mhm.
Are you going for barbecue or are you going for smoke?
This feels sacrilege, but it might be called for the smoke. We want the smoke, bro.
Oh, Rocky wants the smoke. Oh no. Okay, Brian.
I think I'm with Rocky. Like, the barbecue is fantastic, but this smoke, those little mushroom hipster people really figured this chip out. This is good stuff. I'm going with the smoke.
They're lovely.
I'm going for barbecue. Because I'm a simple man. Give me that intense barbecue-y flavor. I have always believed that I understand the boundaries of Flavor Town, which I believe is in Ohio.
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah, the jurisdiction of Flavor Town is a town I understand. So I'm going to go with that, Marty. So you've
I don't know.
tried
It's
one.
a little ethereal, so I'm definitely going to go more grounded barbecue.
Okay, so you're going with the flavor of barbecue. So we're at 2s.
Deuces.
Mike,
Oh boy, I've got to break a tie.
you have to break a tie. Now, do you want to pick barbecue or smoke?
Well, I don't know. Marty did set himself on
let's do
fire
this.
for
We're
one of
real
those.
quick, we're going to show you the bag, Mike.
Oh yeah, that'll
You can
help.
see the 2 bags.
There's one.
Here is Grippo's.
That is shiny.
Here is Hen of the Woods.
I'm going to have to go with the Grippos because it is a shinier, prettier bag.
Okay, Mike goes with Grippo's because it's a shiny, prettier bag. Here's what I will say. Is for a story from a hipster chip where it's, oh, these sellouts don't get it. They have come with a flavor that says these sellouts don't get it.
Yeah. Very nice chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen a smoke flavored before either, and it's very, very good.
Yeah, I'm super pro Hen of the Woods. I would definitely take it to a party.
Yeah.
But it did not make it to the next round. Brian, your feelings?
Yeah, I'm not mad at either one for winning. They're both very good chips. I would take them both to party.
Yep.
They're amazing. I wish we could get them here instead of had to, drive 9 hours to Cincinnati.
Indeed. Rock, how about you?
I would take them both to a party because I like them in different ways.
Very good. But only one can advance, and that is from the wild card. Grippos survives on the prettiness of the shiny bag. Tell us about our second matchup, Rock.
All right, so we have Hawaiian brand kettle style potato chips, luau barbecue, sweet and spicy, crispy and crunchy,
Okay.
or Red Rock Deli, sweet chili and sour cream kettle style potato chips, Australia's favorite.
Sweet chili and sour cream, Rocky. What are you talking about?
All right. Would you like to know more about the Hawaiian one?
Nah.
Okay. Good.
Of course I would, Rocky.
Okay. Discover a whole new world of flavor when you crunch into these golden chips. Created one batch at a time to deliver freshness and authenticity only found in Hawaiian brand kettle style potato chips. Cooked to perfection and seasoned to give you the authentic taste of an open fire barbecue. Open a bag of Hawaiian brand kettle style potato chips and let yourself be swept away to a tropical paradise of beautiful sunset luau's. Mahalo.
That's a lot it's expecting to do. It's this chip's trying to give me frequent flyer miles.
They use the word authentic a lot for a food product that I'm not sure is Hawaiian. Like, I know they eat them in Hawaii now.
Yeah.
But, like, no one went, oh man, we've discovered these chips on this island.
Here.
You don't think potato chips originated in Hawaii?
I'm not sure exactly where they're from, but I'm pretty sure.
If I may question some of the language.
Yes.
Made one batch at a time.
Yeah.
Everything made in batches is made one batch at a time. That's just how batches work.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like even Domino's can say we make it one pizza at a time, but it's Domino's. It's trash pizza.
Trash pizza.
Also,
Yes.
like Hawaiian brand snacks is under the label of Tim's Cascade Stairs.
Yeah.
And also is distributed by Kennedy Endeavors in Algona, Washington.
Which is also a part of Unilever, which also falls under Nestle's, which is also a part of InBev. Which coincidentally all falls under Chrysler. Who would have known?
Yeah.
Authentic Hawaiian chips. Chrysler, determination, and dependability. So please, Rocky,
Yes.
tell me about the competitor. Sweet chili sauce and sour cream, Rocky.
I mean, it is one of Australia's favorite flavors. Says so.
Okay.
Sweet chili is a sweetie, and sour cream has a smooth soul. They're an Australian classic, now in the States. Cheers, mate. All right.
I was going to question. I thought these were from Ohio, not Australia.
I don't know, but they're from the Red Rock Deli Company in Purchase, New York. So I have a lot of questions.
That's not in either place that we were just talking about.
It's in both places.
It's near one of them.
Tim.
It's definitely nearer one of them than it is to the other.
Yeah. I mean, I think the states touch, so there's that.
Yeah, so, yeah.
Tim, we'd like to send this song out to you from Barbie for your sweet soul. A little bit of Bill Withers.
I keep waiting for like Neil Young's Southern Man or something.
A little bit of Baldwin Turner Overdrive.
Some air supply.
Okay. So let's get this first chip in.
Which one's first?
The Hawaiian chip that's not exactly from Hawaii.
It smells like...
As opposed to the Australian one, which isn't exactly from Australia.
Yeah, they're
exactly.
A lovely shade of like deep orange, and they smell like paprika.
What are they tasting?
Is this not just a sweet chip?
Tastes like peppers a little bit.
A little
It tastes
bit?
like a little bit of paprika and sweet,
Yeah.
and like a hint of smoke.
So, as Marty noted, we went from our Hawaiian chip not from Hawaii, now onto our Australian chip not from Australia.
Hang on. I'm still chewing Hawaii.
Oh, goodness.
That one, that's a smell. I don't know what to call that.
It smells like pepper.
No, it doesn't smell like food. Yeah, the sweet chili and sour cream, I can get the sour cream. I'm not getting sweet, really.
No.
There's something vaguely chili-ish.
Yeah, that's what made me think they were switched. Was the first one I felt like I got a lot of sweet,
Yeah.
and the second one I feel like I'm tasting a little bit more of the pepper you're talking about. But by the reactions across,
I mean, the Hawaiian bag does say sweet and spicy.
true,
Mm-hmm.
and it got half of that.
Yeah. No, this is definitely more sour cream than sweet chili.
Yeah, this is very savory and creamy.
Yeah, huh?
But yeah, I could see like if you did that like stuff you dip coconut shrimp in and mixed that with sour cream.
Yeah,
That's kind of what this is doing, but it's real sour creamy and not as much sweet chili.
yeah.
I'm not sure which one I like better.
Yeah.
Under.
Okay.
And I need
So,
another
while you're-
taste test.
While you're pondering, I'm going to start with Marty because he had only had one of the chips last round. So he gets to have an actual opinion this time, fully formed. Marty, which one would you advance to the next round?
The luau.
Okay.
The chili one's kind of just bland. It's got that little tang of the sour cream, but that's really about it.
Yeah. I would go so far as to say I don't know that I'd worry about taking this to a party. It's not awful. It's just unremarkable. So, Brian?
I don't know. I'm like, neither are bad, but yeah, like you said, neither's really remarkable.
No.
The luau is sweet and sort of paprika-y, and the sweet chili and sour cream is creamy. I think I'd go with the sweet chili and sour cream just because it's a little different. Whereas like the luau is good, but it's mainly just a sweet chip.
Yeah. Rocky?
I think I have made a decision.
Okay, what are you choosing?
I think I'm choosing the sweet chili and sour cream, even though it does not live up to his name.
Okay.
Because the luau barbecue is just so sweet, like went out of its way to make it sweet.
Yeah.
That just.
And I think I'm going to agree with you. I'm also going to go with the sweet chili and sour cream for the same reason. But I will add to this. Neither one of these are so bad to get a full I wouldn't take it to a party, because they're not bad, but they are unremarkable. They're not so good that I'd go out of my way to take them to a party, if that makes sense.
Oh, that's a spin on barbecue.
Yeah.
It sure is.
It sure is a way. That sure is a barbecue-ish chip.
Yeah, like if they were just in a local grocery or convenience store, I might take them just as like, hey, here's a different chip that you probably haven't had. There's nothing wrong with them, but they're not going to be anyone's new favorite chip.
No.
But they're fine, like, hey, I bet no one else brought these.
Yeah, I bet they didn't.
Well.
So now we're heading into the finals. Rocky, let us know our two chips.
All right, our two chips are Grippo's Barbecue and Red Rock Deli Sweet Chili and Sour Cream.
Okay, so take another bite of your barbecue, of your sour cream, and then come back and tell me why barbecue won.
Because it's better.
Seems likely.
Hey, Mike, while we're chewing, tell us which one you'd pick.
Barbecue.
Okay.
Because it's better.
It's definitely better.
Yeah, Mike says it, Marty says it. I have to agree. Rocky?
I just said.
Really?
Because they're like, the Grippos are so strong, punch you in the tongue. I don't know if I can eat very many of them.
I can't eat a lot of them, but once again, we've discussed, I probably belong in Flavor Town.
I also enjoy the crunch of the kettle style.
The actual chip of the kettle style is so much better.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm going sweet chili sour cream.
Brian, what's your feeling on this?
It's a close one. For the record, they're pretty tasty both at the same time, though.
Yeah.
Because the sour cream kind of takes the edge off the, like, way too much seasoning that the barbecue are doing. But I think I'm leaning barbecue. They're really good. The consistency of the kettle chips are fantastic. But I really do like these barbecue chips, Grippos.
And I will say, Rocky, you should try this too. Both chips at the same time is the best thing we've had.
All right, let me try that.
Yeah.
Both chips in the finals. The sweet chili sour cream.
Sweet.
And also Grippo's barbecue together in the same bite might be the winner.
Because it gives me that crunch I want.
Yeah. But I do believe in a 4-1. We have decided that Grippo's barbecue is the way to go. Remember, there is an asterisk if we're talking about 4-1 because Mike had none of them.
I mean, it'd still be 3-1.
And I only had 3 of them, so.
Okay, that's true.
But not in the last
It's a
round.
very messed up bracket this time, but the winner of it is Grippo's barbecue.
It's full of asterisks and caveats and footnotes.
And whatnot. And normally we have to get to a game review to get all the asterisks and caveats in there.
Do we do those?
We certainly do. We're about to do one right now. Sponsored by the fine folks at Power to the Meeple at powertothemeeple.com. Great games, great prices, helps out the community, several podcasts and video shows, and also helps the Spiel Foundation, which I am a part of. I'm actually helping them with Spielathon to raise money for the charity, which gives games, boxes of brand new games to children's hospitals and to senior centers. All over the U.S. and Canada, maybe the world, but I know the U.S. and Canada. I should probably know a little more, but there you go. Right now, a game that grabbed my attention is Rare Roses. $22.99, normally $30. $22.99 for the fine folks at Power to the Meeple, powertothemeeple.com. Pretty much the title is everything you need to know. In the game, you are a floral designer specializing in rare roses. I know little about it past that, but it looks beautiful, and I love that is a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This one is a game by Rocky Heckman.
Oh, all right.
You
found me out. It's my stage name.
Rocky Heckman.
Yeah.
You were going to be Rocky Hellman, but you were afraid that Hellman was not going to get you far enough?
Yeah, well, I didn't want to swear.
Okay, fair.
Or get
But you
sued by
can
the
check it out,
man.
Rare Roses. Power to the Meeple, powertothemeeple.com. Great prices, helping the community each and every day. Powertothemeeple.com. Today's episode, today's game we're talking about is Similo, which not only has a live, honest-to-goodness cardboard version, but also has an app. And we are going to talk a little bit about both of them because we are talking about playing it on Zoom as well as playing it live. Who wants to talk about how the game works?
I'll do it.
Okie doke, Mike. Field it. Take it away.
Okay, so Similo, it is a matching game where one person is a clue giver of sorts, and the other person is trying to guess the thing that they are trying to be led to. I think it's designed to be played with two people, with one clue giver and one guesser. Bruce tells me that the physical version, which I have not played, is really designed with one clue giver and a team of guessers in mind.
I won't even go so far as I'm going to step in to tell you. I'm looking at the Board Game Geek entry for it. It lists it as 2 to 8 players.
Okay. The apps, I will say, the digital version are really 2 players that you have to really do some things with Zoom to make this work with more than 2 people, which is what we did. But the idea is that there is a deck or decks, multiple decks of cards with art on them of a certain theme. So there's one deck that's fables and one deck that's history and one deck that's animals. And you are trying to get the guesser to guess whichever card you are holding by giving them clues of other cards in the deck that are either similar or dissimilar to it. And you tell them whether the card that you're showing them is either is similar or dissimilar to the given target card. So, and there's a whole a range of cards. How many cards are in the face-up thing? I can't remember.
Okay, so you will have 1 clue card that you're leading people to, then you draw 11 more and you put 12 out on the table.
Okay. So there are 12 cards out on the table. One of them is the clue card you're trying to give them, or you're trying to lead them to. The others are things you're trying to obviously get them to eliminate from consideration. And you give them clues from your hand of other cards that are either similar or dissimilar to try to get them to eliminate. And the first round, they have to eliminate 1 card. Then you give them another clue, and they have to eliminate 2 cards, and so on. Until you're down to only 2 cards left, hopefully. And they have to eliminate the 1 card that it is not and leave you with the proper card. If at any point they try to eliminate the card that you were trying to lead them towards, that is the actual clue card, then the guessers lose. But it is a cooperative game where the clue giver is trying to get them to something and they are trying to get there also. I will say the app is available pretty much on all platforms. It is available on Steam. It is available on iOS. It is available on Android. That being said, I feel like I have to say the Steam version is way more expensive, as in triple the price.
Yes.
The mobile versions are way cheaper. We played by Bruce sharing his iOS screen. I think when you were using your iPad.
Yes.
We were using that as a way of sort of having the board available to everyone to see. And then one person would be the clue giver, one would be and the rest of us would be guessers, sort of together. And we'd put our heads together and try and figure out what the clue giver was trying to lead us towards or away from. There are multiple different themed decks, as I mentioned. The basic way of playing this is to all play with the same deck, but you can also do it as an option of where one deck is for the clue giving and one deck is the actual board that's out there. So you could be trying, there's a board with 12 cards from the Fables deck, and you could be trying to lead them towards it with clues that are from the Animals deck. And that makes it a lot more challenging.
Oh, yeah.
I think that pretty much covers all the options and how you play it.
Yeah, I think it more or less does. Just so you know, in the physical version, since we talked a little bit about price and what you get, the physical version is $10 or less. If you catch the right deal at the right online website at the right time, you can get it for $6 or $7. It's a deck of 30 cards. Remember, once again, you're going to have 12 on the table. To give clues, you're going to have that hand of 5 cards that you draw from that comes out of the rest of the deck.
Or another deck if you have another deck and you want to play it that way.
Or another deck. This also means, so we did it using the app to play on Zoom. You additionally could use your iPad or whatever camera you have over a table you can show to just lay the board out. You can also have people in other places. Let's say you're playing this with like 3 or 4 families. This also means that one family or one person with Zoom could set the board out in whatever deck they have, and somebody else could give clues from whatever deck they have. In that case, what you'd probably do is, if I am the family that has the board, I would take one card, take a picture of it, not look at it, send it to whoever the clue giver is, shuffle the rest of them with 11 cards and lay them out so I don't know what it is either. Then that person would see the card they're trying to lead people to, and they would use their deck to direct. That is certainly one way to do it if you'd like to do that sort of thing in physical space rather than in the digital space. So let's get into this. There's not a lot of cards, not a lot of description or rules here, but there's quite a bit of game. So let's do it this way. I'll start with you, Rocky.
Yes.
What are your feelings about this? So we have an actual physical copy on top of getting all the digital copies for everybody. So you've seen it both as a physical game and you've played it as a digital game. What are your feelings about Similo?
It reminds me kind of Code Names.
Okay.
And kind of Dixit.
Okay.
Because you're trying to lead people to make connections between cards without using any words. And I like it.
I've heard Dixit, I've heard Code Names, I've heard Mysterium.
Okay.
Mentioned. A lot of people say Guess Who. They get kind of a Guess Who feeling out of it. I think another thing to be mentioned is the art. The art on these is exquisite.
It is.
But it also means the connections you might be making are not as straightforward as people may think.
Right. So sometimes it's, well, I'm thinking about the gender of the person on the card, or I'm thinking about the way they're facing on the card, or if they're a good person or a bad person, or things like that. So it depends on what connections you think the people that you're aiming at are going to go for.
Indeed.
Yes.
Marty.
I agree, and it's kind of like an interesting cross between Dixit and Code Names, although I don't think it quite does as well as either one in its own element, but it includes elements of both.
Yes.
So it's interesting in a lot of senses, but I don't think it's a novel concept. I just don't think it works as well as that it could have.
Okay, so then let's explore that a little bit. So then I'll start with an opening statement, and maybe we can kind of use that to pare down and have the conversation. So of Dixit, Code Names, and Mysterium, you think Dixit and Code Names are both better games than... of Dixit, Code Names, and Similo, you think Dixit and Code Names are both better games than Similo? Correct. Okay.
I do think it is good that this game you can play online, so it has that going for it. But if in a party, given those 3 options, I would choose either Code Names, probably Code Names, then Dixit, then Similo.
So I'm going to jump in because I find that super interesting, because I don't even know that I wholeheartedly believe that Code Names is a party game. And we've talked about it on the show, and I think we've always kind of wrestled with it, because essentially it is a whole bunch of people stare at a table intently, silently, for as little as 2 minutes and as much as their whole natural lives. And then one person says a word, and then people murmur to themselves, and then they say a word, and then they say, "Damn it." And then it starts the cycle all over again of staring at the table silently. So
every time I've played it at a party, it's the other way around, where it's like,
really?
It is because the people guessing
Yeah.
we talk about it. So, and we get these weird train of thoughts paths, and that's, I think, what the fun part is.
Okay, I can see. I've heard legend of people playing it that way. I just don't know that I've seen it with my own two eyes. But that's good to hear. So then I can understand if that's how you play Codenames, why Similo may not quite hit it for you. So then for Dixit, is that also like a raucous game that you're around? Do you just like the storytelling part?
So it's not as raucous. I think the way we play Codenames is definitely more raucous, and that's why I think I like it a little bit better.
Okay.
But again, in Dixit, you still have that people. The group I play with, we always explain why we go with what choice we go.
Of course. Okay. Well, I'm going to move over to let's go to Mike on this one. Mike, so what are your feelings about this?
I liked it. I thought it's entertaining. I first of all, something I didn't mention is that the price really is right on this one.
Oh yeah.
Especially for the mobile versions. There are 4 or 5 decks that you can buy beyond the first one, and everything's $1 on the mobile versions. Each one is $1. The base game's $1. Each additional deck is $1. So you're not paying more than like $5 or $6, I think, total for all of it.
No. Yeah.
So it's a really inexpensive way to have a little bit of fun. And it does play well. It's pretty. I'll say the art is really nice. It's a little cartoony, but it's nice. There's a nice challenge involved when you mix the decks up. The hard mode version of this. Yeah. We also, in general, have trouble at about round 4.
Yes.
That's where it seems to fall apart for us. It definitely gets harder as you go along. I think it's a little unwieldy to play over Zoom. You've got to jump through some hoops, either if you're doing it with physical games or with the digital version, unless you're just playing one-on-one. And Bruce and I did play one-on-one without Zoom at one point.
Yes.
And I've got to say that version is just not that exciting because it's completely quiet. You're just in your own little spaces tapping on cards.
And there definitely is something to hearing the person or team tell you why they eliminated the cards they did.
Yes.
Even if it has nothing to do with what you're doing. And in every version of this game, as the clue giver, you should not say or do anything. You should only put cards out. But hearing the thoughts the team is having helps guide you along. The same way, to talk to Marty's point, when you're playing Codenames in the best world, you're listening to how they're messing up and what things they're thinking are wrong, so that essentially you can kind of re-guide your arrow into where you think they're going to be. And if they say things like they've said the word that is the black spy that's going to end the game, you're like, oh, I can't give any more clues that sound like that because they're idiots. So it helps you out a lot. And I would say, like, that was the thing. I like the game, but I agree, Mike. The games that we played with, like, no talk, where every once in a while on Discord we would say, like, it's your turn, or, oh, let's try blah, 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 were not super fantastic.
Yeah, no, you need to have, and I think that's true of, and we've mentioned that several times in the past, of party games in general. If it's a party game, you don't want it to be in deathly silence the entire time.
Yeah.
That's just not very party-like. This does allow for, a couple of ways to play it over Zoom, which Bruce has mentioned. So I would recommend doing it that way. And if you do it that way, then it's a lot of fun. I mean, there might be practical limits to the number of players, but there's no, built-in limit, because it's basically a single clue giver and however many guessers you want to throw in there if you do it that way. And it's a lot of fun.
Very good, very good. Brian, what are your feelings on it?
I kind of agree with most everybody. It's a lot of fun. It's a bit of a couple other games you've seen before, but it's put together in a way that's different, so it doesn't feel like it's just rehashing some other thing you played, but it is familiar enough. I like the interactivity, because like I've seen people play Codenames the way Marty was talking about, but I've also seen them play the way that, you've seen it, because probably I was there when that happened. I was one of those people. And I think this encourages more talk, because part of it with Codenames is you want to talk through it, but you don't want to help the other team. So you kind of want to talk without them hearing. There's no team. As long as your clue giver stays quiet and doesn't make facial expressions or whatever, then you're fine and you can talk. And you're right, the clue giver needs to listen to, like when I was the clue giver in our game, you guys put together something I didn't expect and accidentally got a bunch of right answers, but it also completely diffused because I was saving a card for the next round because it was going to knock out 3 of them. And then you found 2 of those on the previous round that I wasn't aiming for, and it completely messed up my whole flow. But I just had to like roll with it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. I liked playing the physical copy on Zoom. I liked using digital copy on Zoom. I don't think either one is any more awkward than anything else that we've had to adapt in Zoom in this year that we're in. Because none of them were designed for that. Like you and Mike said, the app is almost designed for head-to-head play.
Yes.
So you can adapt it to share your screen on Zoom, and I think that's super fun. But you do have to like have a dedicated person whose phone is for that, or have 2 people who can swap back and forth if you want to do it that way.
Yeah.
And sharing the card game was the same as any other card game. You mount a camera and point it at a table, and someone just has to move the cards. But I like it. The artwork is wonderful. I think it's the right level of like just a little cartoony, especially on some of the other decks like the Fables or the Spookies deck, where it's like there's a zombie, but it's not like a creepy, gross zombie. It's a kind of like scary, silly zombie like you might see on like a cartoon show.
Yeah.
Where they're kind of scary, but it's kind of just a cartoon zombie, and it looks like it's going to trip and hurt itself.
My dude.
You're on deck.
Yeah. I think one of them does I think the zombie or the ghoul or somebody has like a stick sticking out of its head, like it tripped and fell.
Yeah.
But no, I really like the artwork. The gameplay is easy. It's fast. It's easy to understand. I really like the game. I would look forward to playing it in person too. I don't think it's one of those games that I want to play like 19 rounds of, but 2 or 3 in a row, especially as like kind of an intermediate, if you're playing like something heavy or you've just played a whole bunch of rounds of something else and you just want to change the pace. This is a perfect like middle of the night. Let's all take a breath and play something fun that's just very different than whatever we were just doing. Because unless you were just playing Dixit or Mysterium or Codenames, then this is probably different than whatever you were just doing.
And I was literally going to say the same thing you did, is that anything I say that is positive about this game is not positive for a night of this game. It's positive for, it can go 3-4 rounds. When we did our test, I think we did like 6 of them in a row, and I still was kind of okay with it, but I could feel myself going, if we do 6 more of these, I'm out.
Yeah. Well, like the last round when we mixed the decks, I think was just because we've played enough of this, but let's try to mess with it and see what happens when we do 2 decks.
Yeah. And I would say doing 2 decks, so there's been a phrase I've always sort of kept in my mind from many, many years ago. There was a book called The All Music Guide. If you were a music nerd and old, you might remember The All Music Guide, because it just told you about every song ever. And at the beginning of The All Music Guide, there was always the same quote, which is, trying to write about music is like trying to dance about architecture. And I've always held on to that quote, and this game so much reminded me of it when we mixed up decks.
Yeah.
Because, so if you mix them up with some thought, and you say, oh, well, I think we can use spooky characters to maybe get us to myths and fables. You know what? That's a perfectly fine way to think about it. Thinking, I think we can use historical figures to get us to animals is not a reasonable way to think.
Yeah, the only way I think that can work is if you do those alternative approaches of where you're just looking at the colors on the card or the poses. Yes. But if you know that your group of people isn't going to instantly go there, if they're like, well, what does Napoleon have in common with the chipmunk? They're both short, I guess. I don't know.
It's like Napoleon. It's going to be short. Eliminate the tall things. Get the giraffe out of here. So I would say mixing the decks is a dangerous game that you need to pay some attention to. I don't know, unless your particular group is super skilled at this. I would definitely not just pick any 2 old decks and mix them up. At least in our 10 games of experience, we would tell you.
I would be curious, because I think there's only one physical deck that exists so far. I think the digital ones are more. Or
there are 3 physical decks right now. It is History.
Okay.
It is Myths
Probably
and
Animal.
Fables. And I want to say Animals might be the third one.
I think Animals is the default, because the Spookies looked new. I think they just came out with that because it's Halloween recently.
I'm sorry. It is Fables, Myths, and History. So they've given you Fables is probably they've given you 3 where you can kind of tie them in because they're all human or humanoid.
Okay. Yeah. And I would be curious with physical copies what it might be like to just shuffle them together. I don't know that this would be a great game. I think it would be a fun experiment. I'm not saying you should enjoy like plan a night around it, but like if you've got them, give it a shot, see what happens. It might be fun. You got like 3 animals and 6 historical figures, and then your hand is like 2 and 3 of each, and and you're like, I don't, do I want to? If I use an animal, I might accidentally get the wrong card because the one I want is an animal. But if I do it right, it could clear out 4 of them off the table, But if they say, well, it's an animal, they just toss out, I don't, but these are the kind of things that I like about this game. Is it makes me think of fun things to do with it, which a lot of games don't make me want to experiment. They're just like, you play them and then you're done. Yeah, this seems fun.
And the art kind of makes you want to play around. And the other thing about it is, and we've talked about this on a lot of games, where we say, well, if the game lasted an hour, I think you would see where it's threadbare. You would see where the problems are. But when a game only takes 12 minutes to play, it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can mess around with it, and you can fail, and it can be bad 3 to 5 minutes around, and you were done in under 20 minutes, even if you had even if it was a 12 Angry Men sort of situation, you were done in 20 minutes.
Yeah. The only thing that there's not a set time on the deliberation part. So if you have the kind of group that can never make up its mind, then keep that in mind. Yeah. But yeah, like ours, they were 15 minutes tops for each one, and we played like 6 of them for like an hour and a half.
Yeah. And it's good for that, and it lets you want to do those things like Brian's talking about. Because you say to yourself, well, even if the whole thing's a miserable mess, it's 15 minutes, and we tried it, and we know, and okay, cool, we play again.
You're trying to break the game just for novelty, but but having fun doing it.
Yeah. Like even the games we played where it was, what was it, Mike? Was it Spookies to get to Animals or something?
I think we had Animals to get to Spookies at one point, and I think you and I did one Silently, which is even tougher. Yeah. With historical figures and animals, or historical figures and fables or something like that, and it was just rough.
Yeah, those can be rough, and I would say the silent version, I'm sure there are people that love the puzzle of playing it without hearing people and trying to work it out. That was not for me at all, but I could see how maybe it would be for you if that's, if that puzzle sounds fun to you, go for it. It's another great way to play it, I suppose. I did not find that enjoyable at all.
Yeah, it was just a little frustrating to me too.
Yeah, and I didn't want it to be. And I was like, oh, this is going to be fun. And then I was like, but I can't hear him, so I don't know why he got that right. I just know that he got that right. Which once again is just not the thing for me. I am going to say with what Marty said, I think Codename's not my favorite game, but it probably is a better game than Similo. Dixit I used to love, and over time I've just kind of learned more games. Dixit might be a better game than Similo, but I'm not sure, if you compared the short playtime and the ability to get more and more games in, Similo is a real powerful package. So here's the question. I think we all can establish, and if anybody disagrees, tell me, I wouldn't want to play a whole night of it. No. I do think an hour and a half is max for me. If we're just really, oh my God, we got to figure out Similo. We got to be a Similo team. We got to practice for the big regional championships.
We're going to make it to the regionals.
Mm-hmm. We're going to get to the regionals.
Well, it works too. If you have half a dozen people and just everybody takes a round at being whatever the title is, the person who gets
Clue giver.
Clue giver. There you go.
Yep.
I would enjoy playing it for an hour, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm disappointed when we're like, hey, we're going to try the mix and match decks. You guys decided you didn't want to play anymore, so I didn't get a chance to do that.
Oh, well, then we're going to make that happen.
Yeah, we're going to have to do that.
Yeah, we'll make that happen tomorrow.
Oh.
Yeah, done.
Yeah.
So, and that's great because, like Rocky, you and I talk about this. You play a lot of games here, and some of them you like and some of them you don't.
Yeah.
But there isn't often a game where you like want to keep playing it past the time we're done. Mm-hmm. Happy Salmon's one I think of.
That's true.
That you wanted to just play the hell out of that game.
Well, yeah, it's fun. It's full of endorphins because you're like high-fiving people.
Yep. Remember when you could still high-five people?
I know, right?
Oh.
It's like the
Thanks,
worst
Bruce.
game right now.
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is the worst game right now.
You play within your immediate family bubble.
Of course. That is a game that got me sick in a public place when we didn't have these problems.
Oh, no.
Yes. It made me deathly ill. But that's not the story for today. That's not the one you want to hear.
Happy partying.
Happy.
We're keeping it topical.
But I will say this is one I showed you as soon as I got the physical copy in. And sometimes I kind of obligate you at the dining room table to play some games.
Oh, I know.
And yeah.
I got this new game. I really want to try it.
All right.
Yeah.
And that is usually, so I wouldn't say that you initially approach this game with any more positivity.
Well, no, because I have to approach them all with cautious trepidation.
Yes. But this was one, I'm used to the normal Rocky situation of, we play it once, I put it away, and then I just assume I've lit that money on fire. But this was one, like, we played it 2 or 3 times, and when I put it away, you're like, oh, you're putting it away already? Yeah. Which, I mean, like, I only bring all of this up, not just to bring our interpersonal problems to the forefront.
Thanks.
But
not
also,
just to do that.
Yeah.
Not only, but that's one of.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons.
A ringing endorsement for this game.
Yes, because let me put it this way.
Uh-oh.
If you hear, hey, I got a new game. I really want you to try it. It's exciting. 10,000 times.
That's fair.
Yeah.
There is. So, Rocky, we don't need to keep that up.
Okay.
We can,
No, we need to hear more about your marriage and how well that's working.
The Boy Who Cried Wolf / This Game's Awesome.
The chances of it being a game that I'll actually be into, I don't know. Could go either way. But I enjoyed this one.
Going out to Rocky from Bruce. Feelings, girl, you know it's true. Girl, you know it's true. Okay, sorry.
He's dancing, but
You're gonna
also
get sued if you keep it up.
problematically, he was singing.
Yeah,
I should have been singing, and he should have been mouthing it.
that's true. But yeah, no, that is a huge endorsement because you're right. It is definitely a Boy Who Cried Wolf situation with me and getting a new game.
Yeah.
Because even sometimes I play them and I'm like, I was so much more excited for that game than I should have been.
The box looked so good.
The box always looks so good.
But guest host with Ed McMahon, bro.
Oh, guest host with Ed McMahon is such a fantastic idea. It was a trivia game with Ed McMahon's endorsement. It is not great.
Nope.
It is real bad.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah, but actually, there's been a couple winners lately. It was this. It was, I'm just going to refer to it forever as that Godzilla game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Godzilla game from Funko Games.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
It's Godzilla.
Yeah. Well, very good. So I'm going to assume, I'll say it, and then please tell me if I'm right or wrong. You would take this to a party.
I would take this to a party as an alternative to playing Codenames for the 1,000th time.
Fair. It's the same reason I like Charty Party, because it prevents me from playing Cards Against Humanity again.
Yes.
Oh. And anything that prevents you from playing Cards Against Humanity again.
Yeah.
Amen, right?
Yeah.
So, Mike, you taking this to a party?
I would. I mean, keeping in mind, of course, that party means something different these days. But
of course.
Once there is something to be said now, because I have not played the physical version. I would imagine that it is easier to get, that whole 2 teams thing going without, you don't have to jump through any Zoom hoops.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice. But having played only virtually, it is a lot of fun as long as you are communicating. And Yeah, I would definitely take this to a Zoom get together with your friends.
Yep.
Absolutely.
How about you, Marty?
Yeah, definitely take it there. Like you were saying, I wouldn't play it more all night, but like just leave it out and let people have fun with it.
Yep. And then finally you, Brian.
Yeah, I would absolutely take it to a Zoom party. Once an in-person party comes, I think it's another great choice because it's small, it's easy to play.
Yep.
So no, yeah, I really like this. This is a very good game.
Very good. And then I will just, once again, for everybody out there, if you want to do this on Zoom and you kind of want just the clearest instructions possible, you want a copy either on your computer or on a device that you can feed in as a second screen on Zoom. Whether that's paying for the expensive version on Steam and feeding it as a second screen on your computer, or in my case, I have a capture card, so I have it running through an iPad. I have the required dongle because Apple... and I have that running into a capture card. That's my second screen. And then this second screen is always the guesser. And everybody else that's playing has another account with Horrible Games through the video game. And they will be the different clue givers. So then on their screen, they see what cards they're going to give. It comes to my device, which is the second screen we all can see. And that is the guesser screen. Yes.
Point out that you could probably super bootleg it and just point your camera at a screen with the game.
Yes, I would imagine that is probably also possible. And if you want to super duper bootleg it, I would guess if you have one other person with a Horrible Games account, they could probably take pictures of their screen. It's just they wouldn't get to play the game. So they could feed it to an unrelated person that is not them to make decisions, or that other person's just always the clue giver. Both are possible. So there's a lot of ways to work with this that aren't quite so janky. I think it sounds like a little more work than it is. Really, as long as you have one person that can feed it into his second screen and they're always the guesser, anybody else that is their friend through Horrible Games can be the clue giver. And past that, it's pretty easy peasy, which I really like. I think it looks smooth for the minimal amount of work that you have to go through to make it work. And I say this doing a lot of these sort of games, that it isn't as bad as it could be for a lot of these where you have to do things like use, Tabletop Simulator.
Your favorite, Bruce.
Yeah, it's the worst. So there you go. There's our look at Similo. Pretty much any given expansion of Similo, assume, gets the exact same thoughts from us as anything in Similo, because they're not so different that one of them is going to have a different review than any of the rest of them. More of them are coming out. They're going to be coming out, I believe, in January, December, February. As long as they have 30 pictures, they can make one of these. So they're going to continue making them for quite a while. So yeah, folks, I think it's probably time to close this thing off. Thanks, everybody, for listening. I've been your moderator, Bruce. Joining me on the show has been Rocky.
And now, Part Life by Neil Diamond.
Brian.
I can't follow that.
I understand. Mike.
Yeah, I don't think I can say the one I was going to, but I'll just go with bye.
Marty?
That's all, folks.
Uppity. Remember, you want to find us, you can find us everywhere on social media at Party Gamecast. We're sometimes on Board Game Geek. Check us out there. That's a thing. We're a guild. Sure. You can call us on the hotline. Mike, tell them about the hotline.
I believe it is. Is that a 1-900 number, Bruce? Is that
no? Because we are not telling you about our bodies in the 90s.
Okay. So, and it's not an OnlyFans, right?
No. It's not even. It's audio, Mike. It's not even video.
Okay. Oh, geez. How does this work, Bruce? I think it involves legs.
It's a party line, right?
And so we've gone through this many times. Okay, so we'll stop. No, party lines have not existed. I think they made it all the way to the 80s, technically.
I think they existed in the 90s, technically, but
I want to say that we have been corrected on that. I think.
I'm not an expert.
He just plays one.
So, Mike, we've crossed out a lot of options here.
Yeah, it's. I think I'd like to say it's a phone number.
It is a phone number, Mike. It is 30 Party Game. 30 bit. Bruce, why did you not keep going with that bit? I needed it to die. Okay. 30 Party Game. PARTYGAME. Leave off that last E for savings, and then what does that leave you, Mike?
The party games, Bruce.
It leaves you the party games. We would love to hear from you as we get those calls in. We will once again do another call-in show where we talk about all the calls that have come in. So why don't you call us and tell us about those radio stations.
Oh boy.
Reminding you.
Hey, Bruce.
Yes, Rocky.
You know where else they can find us?
Where else can they find us, Rocky?
On Twitch.
Oh, you can find us on Twitch.
Yeah.
Every Saturday night, most Saturday nights, a lot of Saturday nights.
Some Saturday nights.
Some Saturday nights. Rocky and I are doing Jackbox on Twitch at twitch.tv/thepartygamecast.
Come, party with us.
Please, come, party with us. This past week, you may have missed it, I will be eating the hottest chip. It comes in a coffin. It's going to be real miserable. But that was because of all the money that we raised for the Children's Miracle Network through Extra Life. Thank you so much, everybody that did that.
Did that happen already?
Yeah, it will. By the time this comes out, it will have happened. As we are doing it, it has not happened yet, which is why I'm not screaming and telling you a terrible story how I passed out.
Okay, it was the second question that I was asking.
Yeah. So did I get it all? Is that everything? Is that all the stuff? I think it is. I think we're pretty sure. We're relatively sure that has covered everything. So once again, remember you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com. Thank you, each and every one of you, for listening. We'll be back soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.